Okay, remember when we was looking at this particular photo that I did in Adobe Photoshop? We're going to take a look at the original. That's the original photo where I started with my project. I wanted to get rid of all of the people, the signs, and the cones. Basically, I used this tool right here called a cloning tool. And this is the after. Now, I had to keep in mind what I wanted to remove and what I wanted to keep. Some of the stuff I had to rebuild. If you look at the before, you could see the people standing right here. Well, once I removed it, I had to basically build the front end of the car. Now, that's not exactly the car, but it looks like a finished car. I did the front end of this car in Photoshop. What we're getting ready to do right now, we're going to talk about the layers and the history. Because as you start doing your project, you might want to start over or go back a couple of steps. Well, the history right here will allow you to do that. What we're getting ready to do, we're going to open up a new workboard. To start a new project, go up here to File. Go to New. We're not going to worry about the size right now. Just click OK. That's basically giving you a blank sheet of paper. Now, this particular color, you could change this color any color you want by selecting it right here. We'll cover that later. But right now, we're going to talk about the history and show you the layers. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is select this square right here. And we just basically going to make a little square. Okay? And then we're going to select the square again and make another square. Now in this square, we're going to come up to color and we're just going to change the color on that second square by saying OK. Now, come over to where it says layers. See right here? You see I have three different layers. Here go my background, which is the white. And if you cut off the little eyes right here, you can see which layer you're on. See how the black disappeared? Now it's back. See how the red disappeared? Now it's back. Well, the layers are individual layers, and see, it will allow you by selecting your move tool. See how I can move it around? It doesn't matter if you put your arrow right on it. You can move it anywhere you want on this screen. If you go to this layer, now you can move this object. Now, the layer that's on top is the one that's going to be to the front. So in other words, if I select this layer and move it up, as you can see, it's on top. If I easily just pull this down right here, see how the line highlighted right there, and release, now I just basically switched the layers. Now that particular layer is on the bottom. I'm still working with that layer, but see now I can hide it because it's behind this particular layer. Okay? Now, if I came up here to layers and came down here, see where it says flatten image, and I selected it. What I've just done have made everything one. Now all of this is one layer, the white, the black, and the burgundy. And now I can't move anything. If you go to your history and say, oh man, I didn't really want to do that. Well, you can go back to your history and see how your history recorded all of your steps that you have previously done. If I go back step by step, I can back all the way up to the beginning, where I first started. And now you can pick back up in the area you want to start from with your history. See right there, remember when it was black and then I changed the color? That's your history. You're going to really get comfortable using your history tool and your layers. What I suggest you do when you first start using Photoshop is do your project with your layers just like I have right here until you feel comfortable that you say you have your project finished. Now, for you ordinary Joe, this is what I would like you to do. Let's learn to make a workboard. See right here, let's just say I'm finished with this project. Come up here, see how it says Untitled? If you close it, it's going to ask you, do you want to save this project? In this case, I want to say yes. Now it's asking me, where do I want to save this project? Well, I'm saving it in my before and after folder. And it's Untitled. We're going to name this Project Project 1. Now, see right here at the bottom where it says PSD, that stands for a Photoshop document. You want to say save. It's asking you, are you sure you want to save that? Just say yes or okay. Now, when you go back to File and go to Open, you see all of the photos right here? Well, those are JPEGs. Now, we're going to show you how to alter a JPEG later. But right now, we're working on this one right here. See, it doesn't show the picture. It just says PS, Photoshop. When you click that and reopen it, it has reopened the project that you are working on. That way, you can continue, finish, or make it a final project, whatever you want to do. See, this is still individual layers. See right here? Individual layers. And I can still move individual layers. If I decide to put this up here and close it, since I already named it, now when I close this particular project, it's asking me, do I want to save it? I could say yes. But when I reopen the project, go to right here, it saved it in its last stage what you was working on. Now I could still edit this project simply by moving it back again. And I could close it. Do you want to save it? And say yes. Now, let's just say we are finished with this particular project. This is exactly what we want it to look like. Simply come up here to layers now. And we want to say we want to flatten our layers. But this time, we're not going to close it. We're going to go up to File, and we're going to go to Save As. This way, we can make this a JPEG by coming to this drop-down arrow right here. Go to where it says JPEG, see right here. And we're going to keep the same name, Project 1. And we're going to say Save. And it says, do you want to save it? We're saying okay. This time when we close and go back to File, Open, now you see your finished product right here that looks like the rest of the pictures, and you see a Photoshop document that you can go back to and edit. That's what I usually do.